Now, I know I've been playing Nancy Drew a lot, and I apologize for nothing, so whatever. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. But plus side, I finally figured out what I was missing for like the last 2 hours of the game. So I'm going to jump right in and do that, and then probably have a rant about video game design, because I feel like this part of this game is not intuitively designed at all. Like, I'm not an expert at video game design, but there's a part of it that's like you have to be able to figure out puzzles. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. If you're gonna have puzzles, they need to be able to be figured out. But anyway, let's get started, because I was very excited. I'll admit I cheated a little bit because I looked it up because I was getting so frustrated. But let's get started. It'll take like 3 seconds to figure out what I missed. So we will continue. Possibly more than 3 seconds. I don't remember where I actually was. I was right in this area. Good. Alright. So the part I was missing, the inherently intuitive part, was you have to click the evidence list and then click the drawer. So it was 6, number 11. And I know this because I've looked at this so many times. And, my apologies, I didn't have the actual game sound on.
Interesting. All of the stolen evidence was linked to the accused witch's claim to Hathorn House.
Which is great. And it's something we already knew 2 streams ago. And that's where this rant comes in. Because, really, I'm going to switch it back to just my face, because this is an important rant to me. It took me, literally, it's been probably about an hour and a half to figure out I needed to click the evidence book and then click the drawer. I'd already found the evidence book, I'd already found the drawer, I already figured out which evidence wasn't in there, I'd already determined what that meant, and moved on with the game. And this really bugs me because it's super not intuitive, like, at all. 0%. I have no problem with the rest of the game. Like, there's a certain amount of point and click that I'm not good at, and that is my fault. Like, I'm not great at aiming. That's part of the reason I'm not playing a shooter game. Although that might be funny to some people to see me fail miserably at it. But I can figure out a puzzle. But what I can't figure out is something that is nothing that anyone else in, like, the entirety of the world would do. Like, if you're looking to figure out what's missing, you don't look in a drawer and then whack the piece of paper down in it. You just look at the drawer, look at the paper, and that's what this game should have done. We already knew I had the list of evidence. I had it in my possession. I shouldn't have had to touch the drawer. And it took me like an hour and a half or whatever to figure that out. And I wouldn't have figured it out had I not looked at it. I would have just kept walking around not knowing how to do anything. So to me, that is really bad game design. Like, again, I am not a professional game design person. Maybe there's a reason they had to do it that way. But I feel like there's a very, very different way that could have been played out that would have been much more intuitive for somebody who's, like, this is not my first time playing a Nancy Drew game. I know how they work. I know sometimes they do weird clicky things. This is still not something I would expect, and it's not something I should have had to expect. Anyway, now that rant is over, I was a little pissed about that last night when I figured that out. I was just like, I spent an hour. This is not focusing on me anymore. It's decided I'm not worth it. I spent an hour walking back and forth trying to figure out what was going on, clicking on the same people over and over again, trying to have conversations when it was put the piece of paper in the drawer and take it out. Anyway, back to the game. So now that I've done that, I can go have conversations about what I found. Even though I've already had conversations about what I found. I shouldn't be this annoyed. It was just very frustrating to know that that little bit is all I was missing.
I went through the missing evidence and was able to get a list of everything that's missing. Judge?
He's not very talkative.
I'm afraid I haven't been completely honest with you, Nancy.
Oh, we know.
What? You know?
Let's just say I can tell when someone is trying to hide something from me.
Doesn't say
The reason
anything.
Carson sent you
That's
to
when.
Losem Castle was because I already knew what was stolen from the courthouse. Tegan Perry had assembled a packet of documents outlining her accused witches' claims on the Hathorn house. They were compelling, and I believe she had a real claim.
Interesting.
Now, they're missing.
So Tegan Perry had a real claim,
No
potentially.
Yes. Oh, what a mess.
Oh, what's the
Without
legal
any evidence
status?
of will, what's the legal status of the house?
Well, that is a somewhat complicated question. With so many moving parts and interested parties with crossover jurisdictions that...
You're the one who decides who gets the house.
How did you know?
I can tell you're not happy about being the center of such a large decision.
Well, it's muddy, legally. And
I would
complicated
imagine
for
so.
other reasons.
Because it's not just who lives there. It's tied up in the town's history.
Yes, not to be taken lightly.
And I imagine it's a lot of money. Plus, if you say Lauren Holt can't live there, then she has to go find another place. She's kicked out of her home. Like, but at the same point, theoretically, the accused just do have some sort of a claim to the house. So I can understand why it would be very legal, or very legally muddy. What about the details of
Do
the
you remember
evidence?
any details about the AW evidence?
I don't remember much, unfortunately. Oh, there was this key with its blade shape to spell AW. Very
Interesting.
unique. Not sure what it was connected to.
Like this one?
Yes, that's it. Where did you find this?
Mosam Castle. I say both crimes are connected. The theft of the Book of Apologies and the theft of evidence
That was
from
an
the
AW?
courthouse.
Someone is going to great lengths
I remember it
to
being a
prevent
W.
the AW organization from having a claim on the Hathorn estate.
Any educated guess who that might be?
Practically
Somebody
everybody in
who
this
wants
town.
the Hawthorne estate.
Everyone has an
Hathorne.
interest. Some want it to be a museum, others a carnival attraction. And I'm sure Lauren Holt just wants to live there.
I would imagine
I'll have
she's
to
already
dig
living
deeper.
there.
Well, you'll need to do it quickly. I unfortunately must file the papers in 2 days. Otherwise, I lose control of the property and it falls into the hands of the state.
Wow,
And
alright.
I doubt they give a fig about anyone's opinions from this town.
Give a fig
I
about
love
it.
a good ticking clock, as long as it's not a time bomb.
It's a little bit of a time bomb. Where were you when the evidence was stolen? I know he doesn't have anything to do with it, but maybe we can get some information
Where
about
were
it.
you when this evidence was stolen?
If you can believe it, I was here, working. I have no reason to steal the evidence, trust me.
He has no reason, but maybe he
It's
heard
giving me
something
more
then.
headaches than I care to admit.
And plus, if he's there, it's more likely he accidentally left it open, which means it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who works in the courthouse. Do you have the
We have
footage?
CCTV footage from the break-in.
Yes, we do. Huh. I had completely
It's gonna be a lot
forgotten about
easier.
it.
It's like, it's them.
Do you mind if I take a look at the footage?
Of course, of course. It'll take
Sure,
about
sure.
a day to get the right footage. Come back tomorrow and it will be here waiting for you.
Okay. Where were you 3 days ago?
Do you mind me asking what you were doing 3 days ago?
Did you set a fire?
That would be the day you visited
Did you
Mosam
steal
Castle.
from Moose's castle?
Are you asking for an alibi?
I am
Miss Drew?
assuming he wasn't
I'm
there.
just trying to confirm what everyone was
But-
doing the day that the Book of Apologies was stolen.
I know it was stolen.
Why do we
But
immediately
you
assume
know
it's one
I'm
of
the one
these
that
people?
called your
Like,
dad to have
they
you go look for it
came
to begin with.
to Salem. There's a whole
Right.
bunch of tourists.
Other people might say they were
Doesn't
with
necessarily have to be
I
someone
was at
from
Salem
Salem.
District Court all day. So unless you're interviewing the fine folks who stole eggs from a plover's nest at Winter Island Beach, or triple parked outside the Wax
Possibly.
Museum during the middle of the Harvest Festival, I highly doubt my schedule will have crossover.
Those
with any
two
of
are
the
not
alibis
mutually
you're following
exclusive.
up on.
Arson, double parking. Just saying.
One quick question for you, Judge. Do you remember where you were on the night the Hathorn house was burned?
Of course. I was having dinner with my son. It was a very expensive dinner because Jason got the 64-ounce tomahawk chop. And I paid for it like I always do. Ha! You actually suspect me of committing this crime?
It's a possibility.
I just like
But you
to get
never
the full
know.
picture of who was where when.
Oh,
And unless I dummy
Good.
of Jason's alibi.
Right.
I do not remember anymore if he said he
I
was
thought
there or
you should
not.
know there's a car parked outside in the handicapped spot.
Huh, you don't say. I'll
That was
have it
like
taken
2
care
days ago, so
of. Goodbye now.
don't remember anymore. Someone's calling me.
Tegan,
Tegan,
I
what's
was
up?
able to rule
I
out
got the
some-
investigator.
You
Everyone.
need to come here quickly. Something's happened.
All
I'll
right.
be right there.
What happened?
What happened?
How did it come to this?
Sorry,
Oh,
Ned.
it says liars.
Come on, let's get inside.
I mean, not great, but of all the nasty things they could have spray painted on there, that's really not that big a deal. What side are you supposed to on? Are they in the dinner table? Nope. I can still make some pancakes, though that milk has got to be bad. It's been sitting out all day.
So I didn't tell you everything. You know, it's just been really hard.
It's
Not
okay.
surprised.
I understand.
When I started working at the museum, I was curious about our town's history. Because I think history is the most
I would be
important
too.
thing. Santayana said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Right?
Of course.
Well, I found out something about my family. We changed our name. We used to be Paris.
Okay.
Samuel Paris and his daughter Betty were the first accusers of witches. They were directly responsible for the execution of numerous
Interesting.
people. And they are part of my family.
Well,
Oh.
it happens.
But you're
The head of the AW organization. My family helped murder their ancestors. Which is why I've never told anybody, and now everyone knows.
Why do you think anyone would do this?
This
don't
is
know.
multiple
Maybe
generations
it's someone
again,
else
though.
who
It's
wants
not
the
like she
Hathorn
had
house.
any direct
No one in
relation
AW is going to
to
trust me after
this
this.
actually
And
happening.
the evidence is gone. All of this for nothing.
It's going to be okay, Tegan. We'll
I would just
figure it
own
out.
it. That's just me. My family history is weird, though, so maybe that's part of it. Alright, I don't get to talk to her anymore, apparently. Is May around? Oh. Frank, what's up?
Hey guys, can you give me an update?
Apparently they can. Oh. Alright, we're in the cemetery
Hey
for some
guys,
reason.
can you give me an update?
Nancy!
I thought I
I
called
have missed
her!
talking to you. I
Alright.
need some rationality in my life.
Miss Joe
Plenty
just
about rationality
dances
is
on
inherently
the
irrational.
Right. What's going on? Everything okay?
Not really. I'm at the Perry
I'm
house.
at the Perry house
Someone
and they had
vandalized
weird
it with
ancestors.
graffiti.
Really?
Literally, it
Turns
was
out
like
the
right
Perrys
after
are
the
descendants
Mayflower.
of the Paris family. A family who was responsible for sending some of the accused witches to their deaths.
Wow, doesn't she run that justice group, Accused Witches?
Exactly. Explains why she's so dedicated to the cause. She knew and was trying to make things right, I guess.
Great, yeah, that's why you
Someone
tell
is
what's
trying to
going
embarrass
on.
the
You're like, yeah,
Perrys.
it's
Means
part
our
of it,
suspect is
helping to
still
make it
in town.
right.
Looks like. Have you found anything?
Nope. Nothing here. It's been dead quiet. It's a joke. We're, in a cemetery.
If you have to explain it, it's not a joke.
I get
That's
it.
not true, just means it's a
Listen,
bad
things are a
joke.
little tense here, so I'm gonna stay with Tegan. Can you update me if you find anything, please?
No problem, partner. Western joke. I mean, we haven't
That's
really
not a
discussed
Western
the
joke,
whole
that's the word
detective
partner.
partnership thing yet, so...
Frank, not a good time.
Right.
Oh,
Talk
Frank.
soon.
If you're done being awkward, I could use your help.
What? I'm not awkward.
Whatever you say,
You're a little
partner.
awkward.
Let's finish our search and get out of here, okay?
Sure, but don't rush. We're here to prove the existence of ghosts. That requires steady
Well, we
patience.
can't be in the cemetery. That's
And
not where the
steady
ghosts
equipment.
are in this case.
Speaking of which, how are we doing on that front?
All set. I'll use the antenna to search for suspicious cold spots while you move around with the Ghost Wavelength Spectral Analyzer 2.5 and look for disturbances from the other side.
The
All right.
spectral analyte? Anyway, are you sure
Gonna
that
use
should
my
work?
EMF meter.
Of course. I built it myself. The device has a top-of-the-line scanner that can detect any disturbances. It might not have found anything yet, but have to stay
There's
optimistic
always a
about these things.
possibility.
And I guess this ghost hunting notebook is homemade too?
Yeah.
Thoroughly researched. But yes, it is.
Alright. Hold on. I have to see this. Finding cold spots is the key to uncovering ghostly presences. One person holds an antenna to search for ghost activity, while the other moves in close to adjust the spectral analyzer's scanner settings. When the scanner picks up an unknown wave, adjust the search parameters using the knobs on the device. The scanner's wavelength has to perfectly align with the unknown wave. Happy hunting! Alright, so play with the buttons. Gotcha. How can I not play with the buttons? Alright, well, we're just gonna continue. Found a ghost already. Nope. I really don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. Like moving the wave, I get that. Okay, let me read this again. Okay, so we have to get the scanner's wavelength to align with the unknown wave. How do I get that when the scanner's wavelength is slightly off? There's no ghosts at all over here. Alright, well apparently it's good. Oh. Joe, what the hell am I doing? Okay, so it must be here. Huh? Well, this sounds like nightmare fuel. Oh, I gotta be perfectly aligned. I didn't think the opposite. What if I go all the way to the other way? Nope, that doesn't work. What's that?
new cold spot.
There we
should
go.
move over there.
I figured out what
On
we're
it.
doing.
Wait, we can't leave yet. I can't prove I'm right about ghosts if we miss out on all the sightings.
Alright, alright. We'll find some ghosts. Literally no ghosts over here. This is how I feel when I'm wandering around with an EMF detector. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. There's nothing over here. And all of a sudden find a really cold spot.
I've adjusted the scanner, but it shows no real signs here.
No
Are you getting
real
any other
signs.
signals?
Alright.
Let me check.
It's gonna keep walking around the cemetery. Well, I think Joe himself is haunted, is what I'm getting from this. Joe himself is definitely haunted. Alright, not that way. There we go. Ghost Star, yes. It is definitely not EMF. Don't ask any questions.
There's nothing here. What?
There's nothing here.
Hey,
We've got
what's this?
a signal
What is
in
it?
a
What is
tree.
it? Is it a ghost?
Oh, no. Well,
Honestly, it kind of
Seems
looks like
like
one of
some
those
sort of
Blade
machine.
plugins, but I doubt that's it.
but what's a device like this doing in a graveyard? Something's up.
Oh, that's a motion detector. How weird
That's
is
a
that?
motion detector.
All right, put your equipment down. Your plan didn't work. Now we're tracking this so-called ghost my way. Let's see what else we can find.
But I just finished setting
What
everything
is
up.
my way?
Fine, fine. My eyes are peeled.
I don't know what he finished setting up. He was over here. Is it in the notebook? Nope, this is literally just about that. Ah! Hello!
Should we really be doing this? I'm already having second thoughts.
Of course we should. Worrywart. What is Nancy gonna think if
Go
we
on
return
into the
empty-handed because you
woods.
chickened out?
That's not... I am not scared, Joe. We are doing this.
I would be scared.
Onwards!
Like, don't get me wrong, I love ghost hunting, but I'm also a huge chicken, so it works great. Oh, it's a jack-o'-lantern over here now.
Check out the spooky jack-o'-lantern. Innocent Halloween prank or sinister scare?
Interesting. I mean, it seems like a bad
In the
idea to have a
dark,
lit
it can
candle in the
easily
middle
be
of the
mistaken for
forest.
something supernatural.
Just saying.
I don't know about this. We shouldn't trespass onto someone else's property.
Ah, so we just have to stay in the woods. What are we looking for then? Oh, just... Hi. Joe, can you not? There's a smoke machine.
Looky here. An affordable but effective fog machine. Should be able to cover this whole part of the forest in a layer of mist. Whatever happened to good old natural hauntings?
There's
Good
nothing
question.
natural about our findings here. This reeks of foul play.
Little bit. There's a plate.
There's a strange powder on the ground.
Powder,
Ashes.
you said.
Judging by the remnants, herbs were burnt here.
Like incense? Could be something spiritual, could be something bigger. Let's see what else we find.
That's back onto somebody else's property, huh? Hi, Joe. Oh, there's a lot of rocks. Nothing too much exciting over here. Some leaves.
Looky here.
I mean,
An affordable
honestly,
There's nothing.
the fog machine is enough to do it for me. Like, no one innocently put the fog
Just
machine
thinking about all the lurking lurkers out there gives me the chills.
in the forest. You know what I mean?
Just thinking about all the lurking.
All right, what am I missing? Anything near this jack-o'-lantern?
Check out the spooky jack-o'-lantern.
In the dark.
I get that we don't want to go onto someone else's property, but it might be helpful. Yep. It's a tree. I mean, the leaves rustling really don't help any of this spooky vibe we've got going on. Let's see. Just wandering around in a circle, looking for spookies. That's a spooky. Oh, there's a rope thing.
Rope. This was used to make something move to or from the branches.
Motion detector, fog machine,
A pumpkin
head.
Ghost thing they don't know about.
Well, you finally going to admit you were wrong?
Of course not.
I wouldn't necessarily
All we've
say
proven is that there are no
inherently
ghosts here.
that it's wrong. It's
So you
just
still think ghosts exist?
something weird is
I think we
happening
can't
right
prove they
here.
don't not exist.
Say that again?
Look, the absence of proof does not mean that we can disprove their existence.
That
But
is true.
what it does tell me is that what Nancy saw
But
was
it is
not
also
a real ghost.
inherently
So who
impossible
has something
to
to
prove
gain
that
by
something
setting
does
up a
not
fake
exist.
haunting?
Olivia.
Olivia.
Especially
There's gotta
something
be some
like
evidence linking her to
a
this.
broad
There's
concept.
no way she brings gear here every night. She must have a stash.
But where?
I would assume
Why don't
so.
we just ask her? To the museum.
But why would you bring it there every night when you could just like hide your gear in the forest? Where do we find the museum? I do not remember how to get back.
Just thinking about all the...
That's cool. I'm lost in the woods. Help.
I don't know about this.
Okay, so that's someone else's. Joe, move. So it must be back this way. Ha! I found my way out. Good. Alright.
We've got what we came here for. Next stop, the museum.
Straight to the museum. Why would it be, like, I guess it's in the shop or related to the museum, but are we just, like, breaking
Before we
into
do
the
this,
museum?
Shouldn't we call Nancy?
What? Why?
Because
Nancy probably doesn't want to
we're a
know
team. We
if we're
should
breaking
keep
in.
her.
She's busy.
Let Nancy do her thing and we'll do ours.
Oh, so what is our thing exactly?
And so, but
Ghost busting.
if everything is out in the woods right now, what's gonna be in here?
A brochure all about Abigail Hathorne Woodley's life
Interesting.
and disappearance. Work in progress.
She's clearly important to Olivia. In some way.
I mean, she was the young one, wasn't she?
Hey, look! A list of mysterious symbols.
And I'm going to steal? Alright, she'll never notice that's gone. Nope, I have... I need to inspect the coded note. Path to Abigail Woodley.
There's a gravestone map on the back. If this isn't suspicious.
I don't see Abigail Hathorne Woodley's grave on here, though. Would have been too easy.
Well, it's the
No matter.
X.
We'll find it.
wouldn't it? It's just me? Like, that's... X marks the spot. I mean... What else could it possibly be? Is there anything else of interest? Joe, you find anything? Ugh. Well, apparently all I needed is Abigail Woodley's gravesite. Let us outie and back to the cemetery. Alright, so... Dorothy Cromwell Alexander Bell. If I can find either of those, we'll be in business. That doesn't appear to have a name on it. I know this is a person. Samuel Sewall. There's gonna be a lot of like, look really close, because I can't read it. Those don't have names. Dorothy Cromwell. Dorothy. Alright, so she... Let me hit it with this in case there's something weird going on now. So I'm guessing, personally, If that means Abigail's like over here-ish somewhere. Probably that one. Oh, no. One of those. Roger Conant. No, I don't care. Which one are you? Alexander Bell. I don't know what this says, but it looks like hot. Alright, so this is Alexander Bell. That wasn't Samuel Sewell. It's got to be over here. Somewhere in this general region. I think that's the only thing that makes any sense. Because there's Dorothy's. Joe, what do you think? I haven't found any way to translate this yet. Okay, follow the map. Well, I am following the map. Actually, it wouldn't be there. It would be back here?
Is that?
Wait, I've got this. This is good evidence. Aren't you glad we broke into the museum?
I'm always glad I break
Look
into the
at
museum.
this. I'm going to go ahead and guess that this will decipher the paper we found in the gift shop.
Would
Check
make
it
a
out.
certain amount of sense.
A decryption device of some sort.
Ah.
Time to put you to good use.
Alright, so. Alright, so. We are looking for. Which symbol? The thing that looks like a thing, kind of a light bulb, this one. I do not know how to use this. Okay, so. I feel like this can't possibly be right. It's a Z. Does this have to start with an H-O? Oh. The H and the O have to match up to those 3 lines that are over there. Alright, so we need...
Got it.
Figured it out. R. Oh, it's not that. It's a different one. It's not this one. R-E S Rest. Is it ing? No, it can't be. That's wrong. Is it that? Nope. Alright, so with one little nubbin on the side. And it's not that. Ah, this one. Ah, I keep thinking that's that. Is it restock? Restock. Yeah. With 3 little nubbities. Wands? It's gotta be wands. Alright, so this needs this thing has to match up with one with like 15 on the left hand side. This one? Need 3 and 9. Starting to think this might not be right. There's not a space. Would be the only thing I can think of is it's supposed to always be that. So we need 3 brownies. 3 brownies on the other side. Okay, this can't be it. I like a good puzzle. I'm just not entirely sure what it wants me to do. This has gotta be it. That's the right side. I know this cannot be correct. Unless she is also speaking a very strange foreign language. Yeah, that can't be it. needed something with that. See, I'm curious about the H. Unless it starts with the letter that was at the end. Nope, that's the same. I'm gonna say if it starts with that letter. Okay. Well, it can't be S. So what if S started it? Just hear me out. Nope. Alright, so it's gotta be this. But what could possibly start this? That's not a good way to figure out this puzzle. Oz. Other one. Where's the other two one? Well, either way it doesn't matter because that's clearly not right. And well, there's two of those, so... I'm mostly going off. Nope, Tib. We can. Nope. Alright, so I was going off the like, if you go with the most common letter thing. Alright. So it's not there. Ah. Let me just really quick edit this layout then. There we go. So I expect help now. But I gotta move stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, because this is pretty clear. There's the H and then the O, and then to the 3 lines. What if I keep the H where the 3 lines, or the... wherever those 3 lines were. There it is. What if I move that back there? It doesn't specifically say not to. I don't think this is correct. Where's the 2? That's not right. Where is this other one? Allowills. That seems legit. No. Alright. So that was if the H was here. Or was last time. Which was generally my thought, just because it's like, well, why would it move? But clearly it moved. I feel like once we figure this out, it'll be easy. It's just the figuring this part out. That sure has to be there. It's labeled as nothing. What if it's 0? I mean, that's an O, but let's see, just quick. J U R Jerf. I don't think that's it. So we're just taking this very, very normal route. Oh. Probably not. QA, no. RB. It wants us to go to Arby's. Okay, C is not going to be the second letter of any word. No. T E Teb. K. No. Ugh. Same. Okay, no. I'm looking for something that might have a vowel in one of these two. That's not XI. Got it. A L Alk. No, it's A L I K. Alec. No. D O L Z. Dolls. Ma. Epma. I think that's it. It. Q. Had something there for a minute. It Q. Jur. Automat is checking on the first letter being an A. We can try it. Oh, that's not. Never mind, that's not the first letter. Where is the first letter? all wheels. I mean, I don't think that's it. What is this one? Yeah, definitely not. Huh. How did you align the 3 wheels? Alright, so this wheel is permanent. This wheel, you want to align like this one was H, and then that aligned with the O for that, and that aligned with the 3. So that one was like this. So we hit the H, the O, and the 3. So for this one, I took the thing that looks like the T and scooted it around to this one, which I have double checked, and it's that one. So that's where I'm stuck. And that's why I was thinking like it makes sense if this is there, but it doesn't work. Because that's the A. So go back and see what was by the T the first time. That is a good idea. Alright, so by the T last time, where is the T? I meant is L. So let us try that. It's worth a shot. Ah, if I can get the L back up. Alright. So it's this one. Promising so far. Where the heck is this? Ah, you are a genius. Grocery. Where is the tool? Well, now I know it's just grocery shopping, so it's just finding that. Really? Tip of the hat. Alright. So, where's the U? We've got an M. Keep that in mind this time. It needs to be by the 3 going to the left. So this one. Oh, it just kept it with it. I was just messing it up. Okay. I think that's the right one. I have a little bit of trouble when it's upside down, being like, is that the right orientation? I think it is, though. We'll find out. I N. There is. Needs to do her inventory. when I stop looking at that and just see that. Alright. The heck is that? J. O. Just. Why am I not seeing this? It's got the 2. There we go. Just to do it. Does not like inventory, huh? I mean, same, but alright, lots of slash 'em bobs. Nope. I need to change where the O is. But it is the, like, Omega O. And it goes somewhere. Where's 1 off to the... This one? I can't tell if that's a default in the wood. Or if that's just how it is. We'll find out. I know what it is. There we go. Cat. Oh, where is this one? It's relying on me being able to spell maintenance more than anything. Alright, she needs to maintain her cat. B. 5 little scoodles, but in the other direction. Gotta be there. Four scoodles. Is that not 4 scoodles? Is it this one? That one. It's just a game. I thought it was raining. Like, extremely. Okay. Get. S. Stop. Get stock. From
I've cracked it.
L.
Cool. Let me see.
Does she get the stock
This is
from
just a
Laurel?
list of chores.
Yeah, who decodes their chores? Is there anyone that has that
It's dated tonight.
intensive chores that you
Get
need to know?
stock from L?
Lauren Holt.
There's one person who has an L in the entire town. See, I like to leave my chores out on a paper with maybe some flashlights shining on it so that if
Abigail
somebody
Hathorne
wants
What? We found Abigail Hathorne
to do
Woodley's
them,
grave.
like, please
What
do
are you
them.
talking about?
Well-
It's not here.
Also, Abigail's grave's not there.
This tastes really good.
A little late for high tea, but it's good quality.
Exciting.
Frank's not much of a connoisseur.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. It's just a bit strong.
It
Don't
happens.
worry about it. Lauren's got some of the best stuff. She gets it from all over the world. Although
that
I
sounds
usually
great.
use the mail order service. She is not my biggest fan. Today was an exception.
You're dodging our question.
I am.
Abigail Hathorne Woodley's ghost.
Oh, yeah. That.
Would it be Abigail?
I may
Probably.
have helped stimulate everyone's imaginations a little. You know, it's good for business. What I did isn't
That
illegal.
is fair.
But it seems like you're
It's
doing
not
it to keep
illegal.
people away from the Hathorn
It's definitely
house.
immoral.
What are you trying to hide?
Me? Nothing.
Who is creeping?
Are you saying that
I
burned
don't
down
like
the
that.
Hathorn house?
Maybe.
Well, no. We wouldn't make an accusation like that unless we had
So
actual
why is the entire town in
What
this
do you mean?
cemetery?
She's guilty.
Okay, wait a minute. I'll admit, I rigged up a little theatrical show for tourists and the like,
I
but
do not like
there's
that sound.
actually a real ghost.
I feel like
More
it's the
insulting.
ghost,
No,
and the
you
ghost
can't have
is
it both
coming.
ways.
Joe, calm down.
I am calm.
And
Don't
I
do that.
don't like that.
Why are you looking at me like that?
0% interest in seeing this video game ghost. Somehow that's worse than a regular ghost. Oh. Frank, are you alright?
Who is it? Who's there?
Where?
She gave us, like, weed or something,
There.
didn't she?
There. Right there.
I don't...
I don't like the fact that I've seen this ghost like 5 times in this game.
There's...
They're definitely
ghost.
high. Let's be honest. 100%.
In the cemetery.
Probably all
Are
3
you
of them.
serious? You're serious.
Laurel is making everyone in town high. There's no other alternative. What did you see?
Okay.
Tell
Can
me
you
about
describe
it.
to me what you saw?
Just like you said. I can't believe it.
Got high, saw a
You
ghost.
see? They exist. I've never seen anything like it. And her eyes.
Wait, her?
Yeah?
That wasn't a woman.
Looked like a woman to me.
To be fair, I couldn't see her eyes.
Interesting.
It was a man with
Those
black
two were
eyes.
expecting
That's not
Abigail.
who I saw. I saw a woman, and I couldn't see her eyes.
Wow. So I'm the only one still grounded in reality here?
Wait, you saw a woman and you saw a man. But it was the same apparition?
Because Laurel's getting everyone in
This
town
is
high.
puzzling.
It's not that puzzling.
What is that
The
supposed to
T
You
is
never believed.
spiked.
Now there's proof.
Oh, please, Olivia. You never believed in ghosts.
It's not really
It's
proof.
all theater to you. Only
Like,
thing you believe
it's
in is
proof to
making a
them.
buck from
They
real
saw
lived
it.
pain.
That's not
Isn't
proof.
that what you do?
History is different than legend.
It's no legend, Tegan. All 3 of us saw something.
We
It's
saw
real.
something different. And you're high as balls. Okay. Anything
Did
else?
you find anything else
Cemetery.
at the cemetery?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I was.
Let's
rigging up
look
some
at
hauntings
Frank.
to scare
That is
tourists,
a
and it
high
worked.
face if I've ever seen one.
What? Are you serious? Scaring people? Someone could have gotten hurt. You always take things too far.
Olivia's
Get
hard
over
to tell. She
yourself,
just always
Tegan.
has crazy
The
eyes.
only reason people come to this town is for the thrills, not old crockery and moldering period costumes.
No one gets scared or hurt in a
I mean,
museum.
both.
That's the problem.
Hey, everyone enough. Calm down. Remember, we're here for May.
Yeah, well, where is she?
Yeah, where
She's
did
in
Meg
her
go?
Did you happen to see the red spray paint on our house on the way in? Well, she did. She knows what's going on here. My parents are going to flip.
Olivia,
Wash it
what you
off.
saw was in no way related to your scare setup.
You get a
No,
nice
it was real. I couldn't get anything
what do
close
they call
to
it?
that.
Pressure
it was
washer. It'll get-
terrifying.
spray paint right
It
off.
looked real.
Track down
Did
any
you
new
track
leads for
down
the
any new
arsonist
leads for the
while you were
arsonist?
ghost hunting.
Okay, I'll go first. So far, the evidence seems to be indicating
Well, it's definitely someone is lying about their alibi. I feel like it's Lauren because I feel like Lauren spiked everyone. I thought her name was Laurel.
that we should focus on Lauren.
It makes sense.
May
What?
has
Why?
no
Why would
evidence.
She do it? She loves that place.
So she could keep
She
it.
wants to keep the house, and there is no will for it. So she sabotages any attempt to take it over. She gets to live there rent-free. Look, we're not going to get the answer
Also,
tonight.
I'm not going to straight up
Let's try
tell
again
her sister
tomorrow.
that May did it
It's
when
been a
there's
long
no
day.
proof.
Olivia,
Just
you
saying.
can stay here tonight if you want. Thanks. The couch, unfortunately. All the other beds are taken.
Speaking of which, where's Deirdre?
She said she might be late. I'm sure she'll be back soon.
40 people
Huh.
staying in their
What is
house
she doing at this time of night?
looking for ghosts. What else does anybody do this time of night? Oh good, I'm with
Huh?
myself again. Is it the next morning, or is it just super late? Must be the next
Nancy.
morning. Everyone's
Hey.
up.
Hi.
What's up?
So, what time did you get home last night?
Very rainy.
I'd like to just eat my breakfast without
unfortunate.
being interrogated. Is that okay
Guess we're
with
not going
everyone?
to the cemetery.
Is it? I've already answered a
Plus, that
litany
it probably
of
will help put the
questions
fire
from
out.
these
Since
two.
it's still smoldering.
You want to ask them. I'm sure they'd love to tell you.
Okay.
Ow. What's wrong with you?
My hands feel like pins and needles. I think I slept on them or something.
Yeah, me too.
It's the ghost.
Same.
Or the residual drugging.
So, is anyone going to tell me what happened yesterday?
100% drugs. There's definitely a
There's
will.
definitely a
Let's
will.
focus on the important
Okay.
things.
Do we have it?
No.
No. But I found a letter written by Francis Tuttle
Because I
specifically
refuse
stating
to look
that
at
a
any
will
boxes in the
exists
house for some
and was
reason.
written for Lauren.
Could have been burned in the fire.
Or look at the
Could
dusty
be the
papers.
reason for the fire.
None of this helps May. We need a perp, not a possible piece of paper that no one can find.
A perp?
We should still try to find it. It might be motive. And it would mean the difference between keeping or losing a home.
That is true. Although I'm pretty
I
sure she burned
visited
it
the
down.
Hathorn house.
Or at least is
And-
drugging everyone.
I found Olivia's jacket in plain view.
Seems too obvious.
I agree a
It
little
is.
bit. I feel like she
Olivia
went
has
there.
been involved
but
with some scare pranks in town.
maybe
Mostly
it was
drumming up
just
business
a,
for her tour.
look for
But
ghosts
we
or
don't
whatever.
think she's a suspect.
Her alibi?
She was working,
Working?
as was everyone else in town at the time.
Fancy
Minus
that.
May, of
Middle
course.
of the night. Everyone is at work. And well, they saw the ghost.
Well, they saw it.
It?
An anomalistic paranormal projection.
You mean a ghost?
Joe is me.
That's
like
exactly what I
terrified in
mean.
the
You
morning,
know what I'm
in the
talking
moment,
about.
but then I am on
Okay.
it.
Anyone else see it?
Olivia Ravencroft.
The witch?
Except she claims to have seen Judge John Hathorn, not Abigail Hathorn.
She saw a
Woodley.
dude. She
Well,
did
there
not
you have it.
necessarily see
She
Judge
sees something
John
different than all of you.
Hathorn.
Clearly she's lying. She probably rigged the whole thing up.
I don't think so, Deirdre. It's not an act. She was genuinely scared.
Ergo.
Therefore,
It's like, I
So sorry.
first saw this
Not ergo.
ghost after I went and
Her
got
gut.
tea.
Your hands.
Ergot poisoning.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
really think it's possible.
Mass psychogenic illness by more than one person. Hallucinations,
In
vasoconstriction in
tea.
the hands and feet.
Pins and needles.
Exactly.
Somebody's gonna
Wait,
start
what?
season
What is
here
that?
pretty quick. That's not good.
yeah.
But how?
Food or drink?
Intentional?
In this town? I'd believe it.
What are you guys
How
talking
do you
about?
intentionally get ergot?
We could have been poisoned with ergot.
Poisoned? What?
The symptoms match. And it's not without precedent. Especially here.
I
Oh.
mean,
There's a
How
theory
often
that
is
the
there ergot
accusers of the
poisoning?
Salem witch trials were
like, yes, the
exhibiting
Salem
strange
witch
behavior.
trials,
But
sure.
it wasn't witchcraft.
But that wasn't like
It was
somebody
because they had
specifically
eaten rye
poisoning them.
infected by ergot spores. It causes hallucinations.
It's just that rye
It was also
gets
pretty common
spory
300
really
years
quick.
ago.
I
Yeah,
had an
pretty
Asahi
common.
Super Muscle Builder smoothie for lunch yesterday. I did not eat some sort of Pilgrim era rye porridge. So how could I get poisoned?
I don't know. But I'd like to see if there are any
Huh.
sources of ergot. in
Wonder
town.
how.
Good idea.
I'll start with the judge. I should finally be able to get the CCTV access tapes. Frank, Joe, can you guys
That's
check
true.
the cemetery for any traces of ergot?
I'm not sure our ghost
Really?
hunting equipment
I
is.
We'll figure it out.
don't know what
But
ergot
I don't
looks
even know
like.
what an ergot spore looks.
We'll figure it out.
Get Google,
Deirdre,
dude.
you can...
If you're
No.
trying to look for something, that's the
Oh.
first step.
Okay.
Time is running out. If we don't clear May's name soon, I hate to think what this town will do to her.
Yeah, May has done
I'm
nothing
coming
but
with you.
sulk in the living
You
room,
better
so
not let me
clearly
down.
she didn't do anything. Nobody wanted their pancakes. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's go head out into town. It is all dark and stormy out. The dark and stormy mid-morning. all the protesters there, and you're still just creeping out by the car. Come inside. It is raining.
Ladies.
Boy, boy, boy.
So, what's up? You guys looking for directions or?
Yeah, why are you sitting in the middle of a
You seem to
rainstorm
hang out a lot
on
in
your
this
car?
Well, yeah.
It's a good vantage point of the whole town.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I can see the courthouse from right here. Can you see it, Nancy?
Very easily.
I can.
Yeah. You can see a lot of buildings from the square.
Including the
It's a
one you're
square.
parked right in front of?
So did you see anyone on the day the AW evidence was stolen?
Like
from
you the one
judge's
in the
office?
handicap spot?
No.
I think
because
you are.
I wasn't here. I was working for Alicia.
What kind of work?
Helping her run errands.
No,
What
it was the
errands?
stump
Dry
work.
cleaning and stuff.
Removal of stumps.
Uh-huh.
Look, just ask her. She'll confirm it.
We will
That is
ask
what
her,
you said
Jason.
last time.
Thanks.
There may have also been errands, but
Do
there's
you
definitely
know May
stump
Perry?
removal.
What? May? Yeah. Why? What does she have to do with this?
Everyone
Because
thinks she
she's going
started
to
the
be
fire.
arrested for these crimes by the end of the day.
Because she
unless
has no
they
connection to
start
this
coming up with
building.
answers.
She's the
What
one
are you
person
talking
in town
about?
that
That's
doesn't have
ridiculous.
connection to this
There's
building.
no way she has anything to do with this.
Wait, do you know May? Like,
know her?
Yeah.
do you talk to her?
We know she doesn't have anything to do with these crimes, but everyone thinks she does, and that's good enough to get her into serious trouble.
Well,
I suppose,
that's too
but
bad.
she's dating him, isn't she? That would make perfect sense why she doesn't want anyone to know. He's not really like what you would imagine her type being.
What?
Not
They're
nearly
skipping through the
gothy
halls
enough.
this time?
I've just realized
The
that
protesters are now
taken a
outside. They
turn.
just sprinted
About
after us.
time. How do you figure?
Intentional poisoning usually has one goal: to eliminate the target. Someone was trying to kill us. Ergot poisoning at high enough doses.
Ends in gangrene. Which, yeah, is pretty bad, but it's not death. You really think this was intentional? And not some,
I think it was intentional,
know,
but I think it was to make them see
accidental
the witches.
ingestion?
If you look
Yeah,
at
how
all the
much
evidence,
ergot do you
yes.
encounter in your regular
Olivia's
life,
jacket
Deirdre?
at the crime scene, the spray painting
Like-
at the Perry house, everyone's obsession to get May convicted.
You know what all these people have in common?
What?
They're women.
Are you saying they're all witches, or that this is a witch hunt?
I'm saying it's Salem.
I wouldn't say all the suspects are women.
Hmm?
You have anything? Nope. Thank you for being completely unhelpful. Oh, you're both in here.
Can I help you, Miss Drew?
Yeah, remember yesterday you said the footage.
I'm here for the CCTV footage.
Yes. You can use this on the evidence room computer.
Alright.
You know where that is, right?
Well aware.
Yeah, I found the pin code here. Remember?
Of course you did. Now, run
It is
along.
great to store the
Run
pin
along.
code for the evidence room, just like on a sticky note on your desk.
You know, I just realized I never followed up with you two about what you were doing on the day the AW evidence was stolen.
You know, Nancy, this detective thing
Sure.
is really sweet and all, but we are in the middle of something important here, okay?
What are you doing?
Initiating the process of handing over Hathorn House to the state so it can be turned into a museum.
You did. I had 2 days.
It's our only option.
But you work for Lauren. It's her home.
And I'm getting her an extra 90 days before she's evicted, which is 90 more than she would have had without me. So we're a little busy right now, because we need to file this by the end of the day.
Stop.
And May Perry?
What about May Perry?
Is she being charged?
I won't discuss this. It's an active criminal investigation. But from what I've heard, an arrest will happen later today. So
There's
please, can
no
you both leave
evidence
us?
at
Come on,
all.
Deirdre. I have the drive.
And we're gonna walk to that room, but then I think.
Okay,
Oh,
distract me.
hold
Drew,
on.
So I don't go back in there and smash things.
With what?
Tell me some inane detail from your life so I feel better. One where you come off badly. I know. Tell me what Ned said when you told him you saw a ghost.
Oh, shoot. I totally forgot.
yeah, I
I
haven't
said I'd
told
call him back and I
Ned.
didn't.
Ned.
You
Ned.
forgot?
I haven't told Ned anything.
Do you even want a boyfriend, Drew? Because that is a fine young man some other girl might appreciate more
That's
than you.
true, but he also didn't
Some
answer
other
any of my
girl?
phone calls.
Yes,
Just
Like a
saying.
nice girl who knows him well and thinks he's cute and would remember to call.
You know I'm a detective, right? This mystery girl, not so mysterious.
Shucks.
That is
I
true.
was trying to throw you off with nice. Oh, come on. You're in no danger from me.
So I was
Drew.
just like, if that makes you
Could
feel
never call
better,
Ned
alright,
again,
fine. We
and
got
he'd still be
stuff to
sitting
do.
by his phone waiting for you.
Maybe. After this, I'm going with him on vacation. No cases.
I think you'd hate that. You need
A small
a case.
Just a
You're
little
a
one.
mystery addict. Get him to help. Romance, adventure, a tropical location with stunning sunsets.
That actually sounds like an amazing idea.
I know. Also, I hate you.
Thanks, Deirdre.
Hey, is it Ned? Nope, it's my dad.
How's my favorite daughter doing?
Only daughter. Ugh,
Still favorite.
That too. You okay? How's the case coming along?
not well.
Take a
I
win where
have
you
a
can
bunch
get
of
it.
alibis, but I'm missing something. Then there's the book of apologies that's been stolen, and the arson, and a break-in at the courthouse.
Hey, slow down. Let's focus on one person at a time.
Never.
Who's on your list?
45 people. Let's talk about
I
Jason.
want to talk about Jason Danforth.
The judge's son.
He's a real piece of work.
I think the judge probably agrees with you. I don't know
Definitely.
him personally, but I've heard stories.
He claims that during the
But
time
honestly,
in
I
which
don't
the
think
accused
he did
witch's
anything.
evidence was stolen, he was helping Alicia Cole.
I think he and
Yes,
May
he does
were on a
work for
date.
her.
Okay.
Calling it now.
Accused witches are...
Claimants against the Hathorn estate. They're trying to take control of the property as reciprocity for their ancestors having that land and life stolen from them by the original Judge Hathorn.
And that's valid?
According to the judge, yes. But back to
I
Jason.
suppose.
It sounds like he's short of cash constantly. But I see him driving a fancy car around town. Looks like
I
he lives
mean,
a pretty comfortable
Some
lifestyle
people
to
are
me.
short of cash,
Money
but
is
also
always a prime
are
motivator.
just not great spenders, so
Could
they
be
go out and
receiving
buy
money
like a
from
nice car.
someone to
Stuff
commit one of
happens.
these crimes, or he could have a financial stake in the property.
That
The
is
fact that
true.
he's tying his
Or we could
alibi
have a
to
judge
Alicia
for a dad
is
who
interesting.
gives him
But
way too much
if
money.
he was tied into the Hathorn House estate, I can only imagine that it's through his father.
The judge. Is he on your list?
Everyone is a suspect until they aren't. You taught me that.
That is
Right.
true.
Okay.
Look
Who
at
else?
you, Deirdre. Tegan
Tegan
runs the
Perry
museum.
runs the museum in the center of town.
The gatekeeper of the town.
You mean like the keeper of the
I
town's
wouldn't say
history?
she's the gatekeeper.
Exactly.
She chills there.
Anyone who runs
That's
the
about
museum
all you
has a
got.
vested interest in keeping that history alive.
That is true.
I don't know Tegan, but I don't doubt that she feels some ownership over the town's past, present, and future.
I mean,
So she wouldn't want to
probably-
destroy Hathorn House.
But
Well, she runs the Accused Witches organization. She's very passionate about their cause. Like, extremely.
But she wouldn't want to
being
destroy it. She
passionate
just wants
and
it to be
being
given to
destructive
the
are
accused
two
witches
different motivations.
organization.
It's not impossible. but it
Association,
is
whatever it is.
implausible.
May is the
May
primary
Perry
suspect
is the
for
primary
per-
suspect
no
for the
particular
arson.
reasons.
And why is she the prime suspect?
She's the only one who won't give an alibi for the night of the Hathorn House arson.
I see.
Really, she should
And
have just
she's
come up
in
with something
trouble
like,
for a
I
fire
was in my
before,
room.
when she was a kid.
Done. Tegan
People
wasn't
won't
there.
believe
No
the
one
worst
would
of
know.
her. She has a reputation
Granted
for
that
being
she'd
weird
be lying,
and
but
a loner.
so
None
is
of that
Jason.
explains why she won't give an alibi now.
She plain refuses. Seems to me like she's doing it to protect someone.
Oh, definitely.
Or a group.
Her sister runs the Accused Witches. But May doesn't seem too invested in their cause.
She could be protecting multiple people. Maybe the whole town is in on it. I think uncovering her alibi is the key to unlocking this whole case.
Probably.
Yeah, you're probably right. If I could only get her to talk to me.
Why won't you talk to Deirdre? I thought they liked Deirdre.
There's a
Yes.
woman who claims
Real
to
witch.
be a real witch, Olivia Ravencroft.
That's quite the name.
She's quite the
I'm
personality.
guessing that's not her
She
real
lures
name.
everyone to her witch tour in the square, performing street magic. It's really something.
She sounds like an entrepreneur.
But
Definitely
would she be
is.
motivated to burn down a historic building in her own town?
Could add to the value of her
It's
tour.
possible.
The myth of the cursed town of Salem.
She also pushes this whole ghost narrative,
Cursed town, though.
suggesting a
It's just
restless spirit
town
might be
where history
responsible for the
happened.
arson of Hathorn House, that they were set loose by a coven of modern witches seeking revenge.
That could be a play to make money from tourism. It's
That's true.
cynical, but in today's day and age, I don't doubt it.
There's something interesting about the whole coven thing, though. Not cracked it yet.
Witches in Salem. Careful with that.
You know I am. Also, I
Yeah, we
discovered
don't
she
wanna
uses smoke bombs in her magic
Get a
show.
witch hunt
Could
going,
be a
literally.
pyrotechnical accident.
Or intentional.
Yes. Who else?
Lauren Holt.
Lauren Holt is the supposed heir of the Hathorn House estate.
Assumed
Why
heir. We
supposed?
have
She's the adopted
No
daughter of the
proof.
previous owner, Francis Tuttle. And while Lauren claims there's a will, no one has been able to find it.
How did her relationship with Ms.
You'd
Tuttle
assume a
finish?
lawyer would have
Close.
a copy of it.
But then wouldn't
If it's
Francis
going to be a
have
legal
kept the
will,
will
like-
available if that was the case? Either way, I struggle to
Somewhere
justify
there's
why
gotta
she
be a
would
copy.
burn down the house.
Oh, any number of reasons. She could feel that the house is Ms. Tuttle's and refuses to let it pass into anyone else's hands. If any of these
possible.
other players have their eyes on repurposing it
I do
as a
think it's
museum
Lauren.
or entertainment venue, she could view that as an affront to Ms. Tuttle's memory.
Well, she also lives there. Not in the burned part, in a separate carriage house.
By burning it, perhaps she hopes to ruin the chance of anyone else using it and to stay on the property indefinitely.
It is possible. Judge
Judge
Danforth.
Danforth.
Okay.
Look, he's coming on strong trying to pin the crime on a girl without any evidence. It's a bit
Strange.
unbecoming. He's supposed to be impartial,
Yeah, a little bit.
but he's really going after this one teenage girl, May.
Well, look, he was like a mentor to me in college.
And I get
We've kept
that,
in
but
touch,
he's still
but I do
acting
not know all the details of his
unprofessional.
situation. Is he in financial trouble? Is this a ploy to get a piece of property? I don't know.
All good
Which
questions.
would be ironic because that's exactly what Judge Hathorn did in 1692. But May
True
isn't
enough.
involved, at least from what I can
Very
see. in the
ironic. I
question
don't
of
think the
ownership
judge had
of the
anything to
house.
do with it either,
Could be about
personally.
the people May is related to. Go after her
But
as a
who
means to hurt
knows?
the ones she loves. It's extremely unsettling
is
for a
true.
judge to do that, but it has happened before.
But does he have any issue with anyone that she loves? I don't think so. Let's
Alicia
talk about
Cole is
Alicia
helping
Cole.
Lauren Holt, the supposed heir, with paperwork. Alicia claims she was running errands around town.
Oh, she was.
She was.
Yeah, I was talking to her on the phone about Lauren Holt's case. Ha! Look at that. I'm confirming her alibi. Well, that
Well, we
doesn't
know
happen
that.
very often.
One person did not do it.
Talk to you later. Thanks.
I think I discovered one inconsistency in your case.
What is that?
Jason Danforth wasn't with Alicia Cole the day
No,
the AW
she was
evidence
running
stolen.
errands.
I talked to Alicia for a few hours, including during the time of the burglary.
You have the times nailed down.
Danforth mentioned them when we talked about getting the Book of Apologies.
Thanks, Dad. This is super helpful. Nice work.
It's all you, kiddo.
I like the DJ
Let me
has
know
the
how it goes.
appropriately timed
Good
head
luck.
turns. I'm assuming I'm not standing in the hallway on speakerphone. So that would be a bad plan on my part. Alright, gonna continue to this room. And then we were gonna call it, because I was going to call it before we got on that long phone call, but I figured I couldn't really just be like, yeah, bye, Dad. So. Alright. That is a slightly better place to stop than last time. Last time I was so frustrated, and like I was talking about, like, I don't think a lot of people really noticed it, but because there weren't many people here at the time, but I was really complaining about the logistics of the game because you had to click the map or click the like piece of paper that told you which evidence was in the drawer and then touch the drawer, and it was very frustrating because no, that's not how anyone does things. I already had the list of evidence, I was looking in the drawers, I was comparing the two, it should have known. The bad game mechanic. But we're past that, and the rest of the game's looking good. So, perfect. I feel like we're getting reasonably close to solving this. I mean, we have a day left, a game day left to do it, so It's got to be pretty close. But for now, I will leave it at that. I will see you all later, and I hope you have a good night. Bye!